Alrighty, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Combo, and today we have a video that I've wanted to make for months now. We will be answering the question, do all of the finals YouTubers think the same? Of course, we don't have all the YouTubers because this video would be, probably 10 hours long at minimum if we did that. However, I tried my best to pull from a pretty wide spread of creators, all of which represent different sides of the game. Your casual, your competitive, your memers, whatever you want to call it. This video turned out better than I could have ever hoped, so I really want to give credit to my editor, Luke on Steam, who is of course also featured in this video for doing a bang-up job editing. This was the biggest project he's ever taken on, and I think he did a fantastic job. So once again, I wanted to give a big thank you to Luke and recommend you all go check out his channel. With that said, the video is very simple. You basically have a agree, disagree, or, in the middle, kind of not really sure category. I read the question, they go to their spot, and then we just hear what they have to say. We may or may not have had a few villains emerge by the end of this video, but man, it was a good time, and I want to give a huge thank you to all these fellow YouTubers who took time out of their day to come hang out with a dorky skeleton man. With that said, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys at the end. Let me know in the comments what you think about these takes, because at the end of the day, this is an open discussion, not only for the people in the video, but for the finals community as a whole. Alright, you guys, I'm gonna quit yapping. Enjoy the video. Alrighty, how's it going, everybody? Everybody excited to be here?
Good.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah!
So I've got some questions, some big burning questions. The finals community has been really wanting to hear some of the takes of the most highest of intellectuals here in this community. So I'm going to be proctoring this. You don't get to hear my opinion because personally, I don't want to get canceled. So we're going to run down this list here and just kind of get some takes on it. So over here on my right, over at this little stage here on the credit card, we have the strongly agree section. In the middle, we have our neutral, and then finally on our left, or my left, we have the do not agree in the slightest. You should have watched the intro. As I said, this will be on the quiz. All right, people, we're going to move right into the first question here. Question 1. Melee has a place in the finals at all levels. Wow, we got a lot of
Look at it.
interesting ideas here. Okay.
Look at it.
All right. We'll start over here. We'll start with our boy Skew. What do we think? What do you think about this?
Well, the question is, it has a place. I think 100% it does. I hate melee and fighting against it. I never use it, but I think part of the beauty of the finals is that people can play they want to play, and melee players enjoy the game just as much as I do. So we want as many people enjoying the game as possible.
What do you think, John?
I'm not saying that because of them.
Chonky, I saw you were over here. What's your take on this? I see you're in the very strongly agree. I wonder why.
Yeah, you know what? It's what got me completely addicted to the game. A game where I can be competitive with my hammer.
Aww. I'm streaming, by the way. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, it's what got me addicted to this game in the first place. I mean, I always go for the massive bonking hammer in every single FPS game, but it's never been competitive. And yeah, it's just, having a chance to sort of like get to diamond with a hammer, which isn't really that possible anymore. Embark. But yeah, it totally, it's just a part of the game, I love it.
Hyper.
Yeah, I don't really feel like Embark hasn't been doing melee the greatest service lately, but overall, I do think it has a place in the finals. It's not why I got into the game personally. I just thought the game was fun overall, and then just hammer ended up being my favorite weapon. But yeah, I think it has a place in every level, and I hope that Embark is able to balance it out in a way to where, people see it and they don't immediately get mad when they get killed by it because they think it's cheesy. But that's pretty much my opinion on it.
What are we thinking, Luke?
So I agree with all these fine gentlemen here. I feel like we all know Embark is pretty much second in the whole melee department right now. My main concern is if it gets so good, everyone's going to be running it, and I'm not going to feel as special. That's my thinking. But let's say, like we already saw, like in the close qualifiers, we saw a couple of goose ledges, which was really cool to see. Like it was still viable enough to where we got some to actually qualify. But let's say we have every team running a melee weapon, like every other class is a melee weapon. I don't really
Yeah,
like.
ignore that.
Yeah, I don't really like that. That future if that ever does happen. But I don't know. That's just my 2 cents.
Mr. Young.
Putting my super competitive sweaty cap off, I do think literally at every level, Melee, just in terms of this game, is one, fun to watch. As much as I also hate playing against just Melee in general, I think to me, it's a little silly, and I'm a gun skill purist, but I think at heart, I think Melee does have a place for it. And it's good that Embark actually made a game where playstyles like a Sledge or Dual Blades or Dagger can be viable. Some more than others, but I think it does help make the game, one, more accessible to everybody, and two, it gives playstyles that maybe you didn't want to try and consider before, and it gives them the chance to do that. So, as annoying as they could be to play against, I do think that it does have a place at every level. It is bad when they do make it possibly too good, and then it becomes the meta. That's when we have a problem.
Mr. Sam.
So picking up Young's cap and putting it on my own head, I think one of the conversations that you hear about Melee a lot, at least in groups that I'm in and such, is actually that it falls off a lot at the higher level. But as mentioned earlier, like closed qualifiers and stuff this past weekend, we saw Meowthum almost make the run entirely to the major using Sledge only. I think that reaffirms the fact that Melee is viable at pretty much every level, from beginner to, basically the top of the top. So.
Mr. Gunbuck.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys said what I was thinking. The finals is all about creativity and being able to do anything that you want in any way that you want. And I am not personally a Melee fan myself, but I think it is the essence of what makes the finals so awesome. And I remember when they nerfed the hammer, one of the dev notes was, the hammer was being picked too much, essentially. They said the hammer was in the top 3 picks for the heavy, so they wanted to nerf it. And I don't understand that. Like, let it be that way. Let people have the way that they want to be competitive, or at the lowest level to the highest level. I think it does have a place.
I know Melee is viable at every level. My main problems with Melee right now come down to just the hit reg on heavy. Oh my god, Hammer and Spear straight up gaslight you, bro. Like, it is awful. So like if it's not gonna be the best in terms of meta, at least make sure it works properly.
I don't have much.
That's all I have to say.
I mean, isn't that Ruby Labubu guy who made it into qualifiers with the sledgehammer? Not that I've really watched that much on it, but yeah, I think so. You see a lot of sledge players in ranked. You see a lot of sword players in ranked. I've been about Diamond 2 last season, and you saw it a lot. My good friend Yellow Jacket is a sword main himself, and he just came back to the finals, and he fucking fries with that thing. So yeah, I agree. I think Melee has a place. I don't want to see Melee go away like a lot of people do. I enjoy having a bit of variety, not just guns. That's my 2 cents.
Nice.
I like it. Thank you, Mr. PP. Question 2. Aim assist has no place in the finals.
Yeah.
Get some different takes.
Wait, PP, where do you stand on this?
Oh god.
Agree or disagree,
what?
or slightly disagree, or slightly agree, or what?
I'm like
middle.
slightly in between. I feel like there's, you get you don't have the movement on controller, right? I kind of find that's like a good trade-off. With aim assist, you don't have the same kind of movement PC players do, but then I find some of them do, and they're still wrecking me close range with like an M11. So I sometimes complain about it, but I feel like it's not too big of a deal. I feel like if it gives controller players a little bit more of an edge when they're aiming, since they don't have that movement, it's fine. It's just those really good controller players that beam you. I get very angry at.
All right.
That's my take.
Luke.
For me, I mean, I was a controller player. I actually started on this game on controller, and holy, I definitely needed the aim assist for sure. But my thinking is, this is a very I just want the finals to be more casual than competitive, and casual suck most of the time. Hot take maybe, but aim assist is just going to help have a better experience overall. So I think, I mean, honestly, I haven't even complained once about aim assist in this game. I don't know if it's good, bad, in the middle, whatever. I'm not the one to complain a lot about it, honestly. So it doesn't really matter too much for me. But I don't know, if it makes the casuals happy, I'm happy.
Mr. Skew.
All right. So as somewhat of the controller guy, I found that this is the only game I can play without aim assist on controller. I got to do a whole lot of extra work to do it, but Embark actually just removes aim assist every now and then. I play on PC with controller, and I never felt the need to get off. I would just swap to like the sniper or the bow, which are completely viable even at the highest level with, well, maybe not highest, I'm not pro, but I can compete with whoever I run into a lobby. I just swap to a different play style. So if this is the only game, if they removed it, I'd be fine with it. And if they keep it, it's good. I just do not want it to touch anywhere near COD levels, because that ruins, as someone who plays only controller, that ruins the game for everyone. Because then the skill reward for actually killing someone better than you just isn't there. So I think it's in a good spot, and it could get weaker.
Chonk, what are you thinking, man?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, as being a chunky controller player myself, I played things like Rainbow Six Siege, and let me tell you, that is hard on controller. And I think a game that's as fast-paced as this, if you're not using skill shot weapons, yeah, I think it kind of needs it. I don't think people really realize how brutal first-person shooter games can be against mouse and keyboard players if you don't have aim assist. And it's not, as Hugh was saying, it's really not that strong in this game, and you know, I've played games without it, but it's so fast-paced. I think you kind of need just a little nudge, you know, just a nudge.
So,
just to
Chunk,
keep up.
do you agree or disagree?
I do not agree.
Okay.
I do not agree. I think I strongly disagree that aim assist has no place in the finals.
What do we think, Hyper? What are we thinking?
Leave it in. Just leave it alone. It's fine as is. I don't think it's like Skew said. I don't think it needs to be COD levels or even Apex levels. I think what it's at right now. I'm not an analytical guy, but it feels like just a step below Apex, and I think it's fine where it's at. But I'm also biased because I'm a controller player, and I absolutely suck with weapons that require good aim. So even if it is good, it's obviously not helping me.
This guy.
Hello. I think if you take aim assist out in any shooter, it's probably a weird move. I think then you just alienate a good chunk of the player base. No one's kind of upset. Big uprising happens. I don't think that's a good move. I do think we're in that happy medium of everybody complains, but everyone accepts it. Where all the mouse keyboard players hate controller players, and all the controller players hate mouse keyboard players. I think if we're there, we're doing good things. I think we're in that happy medium of everyone whining about the other input. But I do think it'd just be odd if you alienate one entire style of play because it just is too strong. Like, you'd always tweak it, you could always adjust it. So I think, while again, I hate dying to controller players, and I'm like a mouse and keyboard purist, I don't think it would be healthy if it was removed from the finals.
Mr. Sam, what you thinking?
Yeah, so probably a month ago or so, I actually did an experiment where I tried to learn controller for 4 days. I'm mouse and keyboard on this game with like 600 hours or something. And to my surprise, I found out a couple of things. The first being that aim assist has been tuned down. It used to be something like 50%, and now it's way less in its current state. As somebody who did come from like a Call of Duty background with the aim assist, I do agree that that game is way stronger. And basically my too long didn't watch on that experiment is that I think aim assist is actually necessary in this game if you're going to keep up with mouse and key. I found it really hard, not to include also the fact that just the controller control scheme in itself is super confusing and unintuitive, unlike mouse and keyboard. So yeah, I think it needs to be in the game, actually.
Finally, Finals Dad.
Yeah, I completely disagree with the statement. It definitely needs aim assist. I played controller my entire life, and as the Finals Dad, that's been about 6 decades of controller play. And I switched to mouse and keyboard about a year ago. So I played both quite a bit, and I don't think it's what it comes down to is how is it tuned? Is it overtuned? And in this game, I don't think it's overtuned at all. So I definitely think it's got a place in the finals.
Trying to aim down sight, and I had a freaking pyro grenade in my hand.
Ooh, firing squad time.
We're about
Firing
to end the
squad
match,
time.
so everybody just, I'm gonna face against the wall and
Yep.
just shoot me, all right?
Everybody take him out.
Hold on, I'm coming.
Hold on.
No! Don't do it!
Question 3. All 3 builds, heavy, medium, light, are equally balanced. What do we think?
Ooh.
Okay. And then Skew, if you guys could stand by the zip line here. If you're in the middle. Same with you, PP.
Okay.
Zip line.
Oh yeah, this is the edge line. Okay.
Yeah, so. Hyper, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, every class has its outliers, but every class also has its weaknesses. I honestly would say the one I struggle with the most, I don't necessarily think it means they're overpowered. I'll probably complain about it in a moment, but medium, I think always has the best utility, and they have for a very long time. But other than that, like, sure, Winch Claw Heavy is annoying, but they're also slow and fat. Sure, Light Dash is annoying, but there's also like 13 ways to stop them from dashing. Sure, defibs are annoying, but there's also ways to counter that. So, every class has its strengths and weaknesses. Granted, the highest rank I've ever achieved, which is going to immediately disqualify me, is gold. So, I'm sure once you get up to high ranks, but I mean, even in pro play, it's heavy, medium, light across the board. It wouldn't be that way if they weren't balanced. And that's about all I have to say.
What do you think, Handsome?
Oh boy, here comes Pookie. I think in terms of weapon balance, granted we don't really know the health of the new weapons, the BFR and the P90. I think the weapon balance is the best that it's been in a long time. But class stuff, I think there's just some things that maybe that's the game we're playing. Maybe it's like the effect of other games where things are so broken that they're balanced. I do think Dash server side fundamentally is a problem. It makes just hit boxes odd. It makes other things act weird. Winch Claw is just like a free kill button. And having played in, at the highest level of play, and then in ranked and quick play, like across the board, I think there are things that could be improved, make the experience better. I think these abilities could be adjusted. I don't think they need to be outright removed. I don't think the classes are ever going to be fully balanced, and I think that's going to be good, because if you fully balance things, that's how meta shifts, and one class could just get completely pushed out. So I think in terms of balance, I'm okay with how the classes are, but I think there's certain things that make them a little bit sus.
What do we think, Sam?
Yeah, I think both Hyper and Young make good points in the sense of, like, at the highest level of play, the meta, quote unquote, is heavy, medium, light, and has been for seasons upon seasons. So I think that's one thing that shows that things are balanced, but also to like Young's point, there are gadgets and specializations that are not so balanced. I do agree that Winch has some serious problems that need to be adjusted, but just one or two tweaks would fix them. Same with Dash, that it just does not work well depending on your server and things like that. In terms of weapon balancing this game, I've thought ever since making Return in like Season 5 that balancing is so negligible between weapons that while you can run the quote-unquote meta, running off meta, weapons also kind of keeps you in the fight. It's not like you're going to be blown out. And so, yeah, I'm pretty neutral on the whole thing. I think it's in a solid spot. There's minor tweaks that can happen, but overall, there's nothing that's glaringly like broken currently.
What are we thinking, Gunbuck?
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, it would be real easy to say that that Light was pretty not a great contributor. Like Season 1, Season 2 is when you or Season 2, Season 3 is when you started to see a change in that. And that's how I choose to think about it, right? When you ask the question, I like to think about it like, how does each class contribute to the win, and what do they bring to the table? Not just considering the balances of the weapons, utilities, etc., but like how impactful are they in a game? And honestly, with the way things are right now, with the Light getting the H plus infuser, I almost feel like a good Light is pretty impactful, a lot more than it used to be, and it almost made the medium negligible. So I don't feel strong one way or the other, but I don't feel it's spot on. Having said that, I do think it's in a pretty darn good space.
Mr. Chon?
Hello there. Yeah, no, these guys, these fellas, they got some good heads on them, huh? Pretty much feeling in the same boat. It's more about the specializations, The weapons to me feel fairly balanced. There's always going to be people using more weapons and other weapons and all this kind of that and the other, but yeah, the specializations are the problem. I used to be a pure winch user, but I can see, if I was using a gun, for example, with the winch, I could get a free kill. Like, hello. I could just straight up get a free kill with the winch and a gun, which is a problem. And then the same with the dash. You know, like Young was saying, it can be a bit of an issue with the hitboxes and the dashing and the tracking of them. But they don't need to go. They just need to sort of like figure out a way to make them just a little bit more like, you know, just not so annoying. You know.
What are we thinking, Luke?
As they started mentioning some things that I kind of agree with them, I'd probably stay over here a little bit more so, honestly. The winch, I mean, sure, it's bad, but my thinking is the BFR. I mean, I got a pretty nasty kill on you yesterday when you were playing customs with the chat. It's headshot melee. Hey, granted, it's fun. We love killing lights around these parts, but it's the the fact that you can just two-shot pretty relatively easy as a heavy. I mean, granted, you could do that with a repeater. You can do that. You can just one-shot with a sniper, you know. I think people are catching on to that a little bit more, especially after the repeater, the BFR, which is basically the repeater, except worse, but better. You also got the winch. You got the infuser entrenching on the heal beam. You got all sorts of goofy things I'm not really a fan of. Class uniqueness. There's a better word out there. I just can't think of it right now. I don't really like other classes entrenching on other people or other classes. God-given rights, damn it. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents there.
Mr. PP.
Gonna keep it short and sweet. For someone who plays on 250 ping and ranked, I'm not picking light. That's all I'm gonna say.
This handsome guy.
All right, everyone's been too smart. Someone's got to play the villain. Nerf heavy, nerf light, nerf dash, nerf winch. Get rid of the BFR. Buff medium. That's all I got to say.
Everything.
Yeah, nerf everything.
And this guy.
I think it's definitely a skill issue if you think something like you hate something. I play the most medium, so I want the other two nerf. But yeah, I'd like my villain origin to come out a little bit. Yeah, nerf winch and make dash 2 uses. That's what I say. I'll just come out and say it.
Question 4. The prevalence of healing is good for the future of the finals. Happy. All right, looks like we've made our cases. No more orb for Shank. He's being mean. All right, starting with this guy. What does he think?
Healing ball privileges. I think when they all go back to when they introduced the new gadgets in Season 7, we needed a meta shakeup so bad. I know people like the healing's too strong. I don't like playing against it. I think we needed to change up really badly. And honestly, the more that I've played with the healing and I've seen a lot of teams use it, like just in like ranked and in quals and stuff like that, and PHL and even just wherever, I think it's a healthy addition to the game. And having teams be, you know, just opening up more play styles. You can be like the Pocket Mercy. You can be the light that can now heal people. You can, if you want, use the healing ball. 1, it gives more people more avenues to play the game how they want. And 2, I think it helps make the game more team oriented when you want it to be. And I think it also just gives more strategy and diversity at a competitive level that we didn't have before, that I think is allowing certain teams and players to play better now than they have in the past.
Sam, what are we thinking?
Honestly, exactly what Young said. I thought that when H+ got brought in, it really shook up the meta in a really healthy way. One of the things as well is like in Pro League and things like that, we started to see a shift more from just a like raw mechanics check, like who has the best aim, more to like actual team play and skill usage and things like that. And to me, that's what's made the game extremely fun, is like now it feels like I need to play in a 3-stack. And on top of that, we have to optimize how we're using our util rather than just burning it as soon as it comes off a cooldown and things like that. So I think it's a great addition.
PP.
So I forgot this was agrees, so like I'm just gonna
Senor Chunk.
Senor combo. Yeah, well, I didn't really know where to go with this one because I like healing on medium, and I like the heal balls. I do feel like the healing for everyone has been put in the game to sort of like make the gunfights last longer, and that's what you want for a competitive scene. because everyone does it. Apex and Call of Duty, they always up the health and try and make healing good and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know, man. At first very against it. Now I'm like, okay, it's part of the game now. But with the class system, it's like with Battlefield. Let's take Battlefield for example. Not every class should be able to do everything in the game. Okay? It's a class system, damn it! But that's, I kind of got used to it, the healing. And I do get that it does open up other avenues of play young. But I don't know, man. I am quite a big fan of class systems and think people doing specific roles and then playing as a team around those roles. But again, I'm kind of used to it now, so I'm sort of neutral.
Gundad.
Man, I'm way more neutral than Chonk. Chonk's not that neutral. I'm 10 times neutral than that guy is. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, I am legitimately in the middle on this. There's a great case for what the boys over there in Agree were saying, in that it opens up so many more different, combination types that teams can pick and play, which I think is great for the game. It adds for a lot more creativity. And also at the same time, it makes it so the medium doesn't feel like they were beholden or feeling forced to play the heal beam, for instance. But at the same time, I think some of the disagreeers over there are going to say or mention things like class distinction. And it definitely dilutes class distinction. I know my wife, the Unicorn Slayer, has been playing Season 1 meta since Season 1. And she legit was not happy about the additions of healing to the other two classes. That was her bread and butter. She liked playing her role and being the team cleric. And I could see their case. I get it. And I could also see the people who agree with it. I totally get it. Yeah, 6-7.
Sean is losing my building.
I'm so serious.
We're supposed to wait until it's over to grief, man. We still got 6 people.
Sons
Come
of
on, John.
bitches. Jesus
I'm
Christ,
sorry.
Young.
I'm more nervous about the toxic container right above the stage.
Oh my god.
What is this?
Oh my god.
I'm a filthy casual, but I have been here since Season 1, so I've been through essentially 7 different metas because I don't really feel like it changed much from Season 7 to 8. But I was here for the nuke meta. I was here for the LH1 meta in Season 3, the defib triples medium Season 4. I don't play at a high level, but I will say I don't really notice the heal meta too much, and I'm still going around playing my stupid casual ways. So that's why I don't really have a strong opinion on whether or not it belongs here. I will say, though, I disagree with Chonk that every class, I don't care if every class can do everything. I don't care if mediums can frag. I don't care if lights can heal. I don't care if heavies can, get some more movement options, because there's always trade-offs. If if heavy got like a jetpack specialization, you'd have to trade your winch claw, stuff like that. But I think it's less of a class system. We call it class for the simplicity, but it's more of an archetype thing where you pick a small guy, a medium guy, and or a heavy guy, and then you kind of kit it from there. A hero builder, and then the 3 body sizes are the archetypes. But anyway, I'm yapping. My overall opinion on it is neutral. I've been through different metas, and this one doesn't make me want to jump off the map. So
Next up, we have Luke.
Well, overall, I disagree with Hyper, disagreeing with Chonk. I think the Chonk is pretty much on the dot when it comes to just class differentiality. Gunbuck was right about, at least me mentioning that. I am probably the biggest hater on the Infuser, the H+ Infuser. I think that was probably the worst addition they could have added, at least for me in my playstyle. My playstyle is literally heal beam, and because of the Infuser, especially when they first came out, I think it might have been 20 hit points each. Holy dude, the heal beam, at a point it wasn't terrible, but it was terrible compared to the Infuser, and it made me feel like I had to play DMAT. And I had a lot of fun with it, sure, but it just wasn't the class I signed up for, I mean, I'm still relatively new when it comes to the whole finals scene. I started Season 6 and heal beam, I loved it, and Season 7, I don't know, I had to switch it up all over again.
Oh,
But,
can I interject?
Yeah,
real
that's pretty
quick?
much. Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, good.
Oh, I'm not saying I don't think the stuff they added wasn't overpowered or still isn't. Just that I don't care if they have the sort of ability to heal at all, you know? Like H plus Infuser when it first came out especially was completely busted, but I didn't care that Light could heal. That's really all I was saying. I see what you're saying.
I do in that sense. When it says in the bio of Medium, their expertise is in healing and support, and they're not the experts in healing and support. I mean, it's not hypocrisy, obviously, but I don't know. The Lights, at least in season 7, they're definitely more, I guess, better in healing than the medium class was. So
Yeah, I think
I just
Embark
don't
has
like
to
that.
redo those. They got to redo those descriptions, to be honest.
For real.
Thank you, Mr. Luke and Chonk. Very, very civil discourse there. Next up,
Thank you, Chunk.
PP.
When I see
Yeah,
a
Chomp.
heavy get resurrected right in front of me with an H infuser, it makes me want to rip something important off my body. And I don't want that. I don't want that anymore. Please make it end. Please stop. The heal barrels were a nice addition. I like that. Not too much healing. But H infuser makes something die inside me. That's all I gotta say.
Skew.
Ow. So I disagree. I gave this opinion on X and I got cooked by like 60 people. I think one of the biggest things holding this game back, I don't necessarily agree with it, but oh my goodness. I think one of the biggest things holding this game back is the TTK. I know it's a good thing for competitive, but I think the TTK was long. And if you look at the clips when this game started getting a whole bunch of new players, people were seeing new content creators play the game. And the biggest comment I saw, whether I agree with it or not, was, hell no, the TTK is way too long. Like, the TTK on that game is ridiculous. When you play it, it's great. It's a lot of skill expression. But in terms of growing the game, I think that just exacerbates the problem. And furthermore, I look back at one of my videos of playing the beta, and that TTK being that fast felt a little smooth. So that's my take. I think we should lower the TTK and get less healing. Firing squad?
I think Firing Squad, yeah. I think, do we do it again? Kill that guy!
Opinion privileges.
I think we do it on Chunk. You just ruined half. Oh no.
Question 5. 4-team cash out is a competitively viable game mode currently. Ooh, we got some
I thought Hyper was just leaving.
Third party.
All right, looks like we've gotten our our final votes here. Starting over on this guy here, Mr. Skew. What do we think?
Ooh.
I actually no. I think it's great. I'll just settle into the villain role. I love being able to kill people better than me off of third parties. It gets me more ranked points. No, I think part of the beauty is getting ready for third parties and setting up defense, and it separates offensive and defensive play styles. It's definitely annoying when the meta is a little bit skewed, pun intended. But I think it allows for a little bit of strategic advantage if you're kind of a mental player. Yep, that's my take. Firing squad?
I think
3,
so.
2, 1, go.
Alrighty. Hyper. What are we thinking?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle of it. They've definitely been doing changes to sort of account for the chaotic nature of it, and it definitely can't be. You know, if you were going to do an esports scene, you would have to include final round to actually have purely competitive matches. I think the main problem was, and this is probably an opinion that I don't feel like I'm alone in, the format for comp, the rule set, the way they calculated who qualified and who didn't, kind of was not very good. That first cash out match, you get lucky and qualify once, you got a 50-50 chance of going to the majors. What? Okay. But other than that, like, you know, just they can build a good rule set around it to sort of compensate for the more chaotic times or chaotic moments and whatnot. But that's going to be on Embark. I don't think the mode itself is so fundamentally flawed, though, that you can't have it present in a competitive scene. And that's about all I have to say. I yield the rest of my time to the guys who know more about comp than me.
Chonk, I'm sure you're one of those guys. What do you think?
Oh yeah, you know me, I'm a competitive player. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it's fun. It's a great game mode. It's really fun, but there's so much random chance in this game. RNG simulator, like it's even more than most games. And when you put 4 teams and 2, what the hell is that? Hyper, get out from under my desk. I don't want to do that stuff. This isn't the Navy, man. Anyway, carry on. Yeah, man. It's yeah, it's a lot. I think for 4 teams and 2 objectives on the map for a competitive space, it makes it slightly too chaotic a lot of the time. But I love it. Don't get me, I love it. But competitively, what the hell is going on over there? Competitively, it's not massively viable because it's not competitive. Like random chance isn't competitive. So yeah, that's pretty much the Chonk's opinion.
All right, Gumbuck, what are we thinking?
Yeah, I definitely disagree. I think, you know, my time under the competitive sun has long since passed. However, I watch a lot of like PHL, the pro hubs. I've been watching all of the majors. Pay attention to it. And I do have an opinion, and I me personally, I'm not as worried as much as about the third party situation. I think that's kind of part of the game and figuring that out. As I am worried about the griefing meta. I think that's the mode's biggest problem, is griefing meta, and I don't know how they fix it, but it definitely inhibits it, in my opinion, for being truly competitive.
All right, we're gonna save these 2. I feel like we're gonna get some interesting on this one, so
Yeah,
we're gonna
buddy.
move on to PP.
Yeah, buddy.
You stole my cash.
100% agree with the griefing. It's infuriating being a second team, second placed, and you just get griefed out from a team that's way on the bottom because the other team wants them into the finals. I think that's a huge problem, and that's probably one of the reasons why you don't see like pro hubs doing the 4v4s, and it's more of a 1v1 kind of situation, especially with the qualifiers. So yeah, I don't agree that it's a great competitive mode. It is fun though, and it kind of encapsulates how the game is like a game show. I get that, but yeah, not great for ranked.
We're going down.
Next up, Mr. Luke.
I agree. Well, surprise, surprise, I agree with the whole griefing. Like, I kind of think it's more of a, like, it's sure it's an exploit that some people can use against other teams, obviously. I mean, it's what griefing kind of, it's the definition of griefing right there. They're trying their best, not really. I mean, they're not really trying at all at this point to fix the whole griefing situation. My opinion on that, just make, at least when it comes to ranked mode, not just competitive, but ranked, head-to-head, the final round. I feel like, though, there goes griefing, and it makes it more of a tense, more of a, I guess, way you can express your skill. You'll have a lot of clutches there, like you could have with like some like S&D type things, like CS and all that. So that, I think that would make for a more tense experience for esports, since Embark is leaning so much into that. Yeah. Plus, I think it'd be easier to win because I'm totally better than everyone else in the game.
Next up, we have Mr. Young.
How much time we got? So I have played competitive games forever. Like, I'm on a team that qualified for the major, and I have a lot of thoughts.
Mr.
I
Big
think
Shot over here.
I want, this is just extra context. Listen, buddy, this is extra context. I was considering going very disagree on, like, I don't. Okay, long story short, I really want there to be a fun mode where it's multiple teams, it's chaotic, it's pretty fun. But like Gumbuck said, the biggest problem is literally griefing. Like, if you're not first and you do not double, like if the box is doubled and you're not first, it is very likely that you're gonna get knocked out. And I don't think it's fair. Also, like the majors, no shade to like teams that played the game and cheesed their way in and they qualified that way. Like, they played the game, that's fine. I don't think it's a healthy competitive mode because of the way that people can play the game. There's a lot of clutch last minute steals and things like that, but also just like the whole griefing thing takes away from teams that actually put in the work and are actually good at the game, right? They can just get fully cheesed, and it's very rare that you see, even in competitive, like PHL does it a little bit better because you get points based on first, second, third, fourth, right? It's not just, oh, you make it through because it's a league, it's not just a tournament. Long story short, Embark needs to do something to make the mode actually balanced so that the top 2 teams reliably get through every time, and it's not just, sometimes RNG. Like even going to quals, we were not sure what to expect, and we had some teams running smokes because for some reason, the like I'll say, banning thermal vision but not banning smokes is a crazy play, and I don't think Embark thinks ahead of time with like their competitive balance.
What are we thinking, Sam?
Yep, same as Young, especially in terms of the removing smokes and the griefing. I think, okay, I wish there was a maybe, because that's really where I'd be. I think Cash Out has potential to be competitively viable if you do it like how Pro Hubs does, where
The
it's
middle
treated
was.
as a group stage and it's used for seeding, not elimination. I think as soon as elimination becomes part of the problem, or like what the outcome of the match is going to be, then griefing rears its ugly head. The reason being because there's no reason to play for first, at least until the last cash out. And then once you're there, then you double it, and then you grief, and then you do whatever. The way Pro Hubs does it is they play over a series of what they call play days, which is essentially them earning league points based on how they place in each cash out match and eliminations. And to me, as somebody who's also run community tournaments, you know, thanks to Waltz and the people at PHL who have helped us do this kind of similar format, I think it's the best way for cash out to be viable because it matters if you finish first. You don't want to double the box and let another team that was in second or third or fourth get $36,000 and then put you in second because now you're losing. You lost something out of that engagement. And that was the most frustrating part watching the major quals to me, was seeing teams get eliminated strictly off of that because a team didn't care if they finished first, they just needed to finish second. So it depends. Unfortunately, I don't know of a solution for ranked in the game itself, but if we're talking about esports external to the in-game systems, I think it's possible. I think it's a strong maybe.